needs central planning to be effective. If the government wanted a better self-sufficient running society, they wouldn't scam your brain or your pockets. It takes 10 years in order for someone to become a licensed doctor. If there are 10,000 doctors needed but 30,000 graduates, what are the 20,000 other doctors going to do? Well, let me tell you exactly what happens. 20,000 people graduate medical school in debt without landing a salaried job within their field because of the education system, learning process being an overabundance. We are taught what other people know best in order to fall into the self-destructing, factitious lifestyle we know deep down others maintain. America has the longest licensing process but had the worst doctors in the world, despite how expensive going to college for 10 years to get your license degree is. There is no true fair education being taught in our society. Teachers are hired to teach a curriculum on how the state wants you to understand English, math, science, and the arts. There is no absolute way you are learning the most important things about these topics under any kind of curriculum that is strategized into scamming you. Much has been made of the lemon-like fervor which our universities have rushed to sacrifice complexity for diversity. For decades now, critics have decried our plummeting scholastic standards and mourned the death of cultural literacy, which without having done one appreciable thing to raise the educational bar or revive our moribund culture. Meanwhile, scant notice has been paid. They fill our English classes with books with metaphors for the easiest life lessons that seem to get over our heads because of the constant reminding that we need to work hard to get into a good college. Education should be a real-life experience where you get to not only learn from practice of others, but also have time to find out for yourself what it's like to set your own mark and differ from these people, not follow in their footsteps. Nature loves analogies, but not repetitions. Wise people learn from others' mistakes and make their own life worth the living. Worth the learning also. I don't want to fall down 10,000 times because the country I live in wants me to follow in the footsteps they have made for me, depending on my income. I should learn as much as I want and it be worth what I'm paying. There should be nobody in debt because of education, and at that not be the best at it because all the money did was get me there, but not teach me the best. I want to fall down 10,000 times and get up 11,000 times because I branched out. Keep his nature and arm it with knowledge is the very direction to which it points. From Education by Ralph Waldo Emerson, page 102, paragraph 3 from book TLC. Learning is nothing that is supposed to be fed over so slightly in the most righteous way. Not stumped, faked, or bagged. It takes the right sources, the right teachers, the right studies to teach someone properly. Learning should be an experience, not an economical trap. No matter what we learn, they don't care about our mind capacity, but how much we're willing to give them in exchange for pieces of information that will get us a job in our desired field, or in other cringing words, a degree. So I'll say this in clear words for you, my audience. The goal in education is for them to never reach an extent on running you a true education out of your long debt. As long as we keep thinking as an economy that we need to pay thousands of dollars in fees to learn about a subject that we are always going to be empowering like we have been, and so on. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and the government will never stop funding formal education. It's as much of a trap as working for someone for the rest of your life it is, but it's honestly so genius. Everyone has been getting played out of their pockets for centuries. It has also kept people in debt, unemployed, and that's enough to set the bar in America. This automatically traps you into low income percentage. Before you get in, you worry about your funds. Once you're out, you worry for funds that you will have to pay because doctors don't get as much income for knowing what you do because medicine evolved, throwing you back into school to work harder, longer hours, and make you pay for a practice. They need this to keep this money-hungry nation going. We need the rich and the poor because that's all the people all over the nation been taught since the 19th century. How to confide and dwell on what they don't have in order to fit in and be like someone who has everything, but someone in Europe was taught more for less. Education and acceptance from people will hand you a piece of paper after blood, sweat, and tears were put into that degree is not worth your money if it's not being used for the right cases and learning education and not having the position you want because you had to wait 10 years. You shouldn't have to. Eventually, our economy will fall apart. People will start putting pieces of information together and finally getting what they got scammed to be and mediocre and just like their peers in their field. None of you will ever be better than each other learning the same thing in this country. It doesn't matter who went to what school or who learned what. Everyone gets scammed. Nobody wins. The American dream never left and never will. Open your laptops, smartphones, and turn your TVs on because they are your literal best friends in modern day textbooks. Use your millions of sources correctly and branch out academically. Don't let them convince you that they're teaching you enough.